If Ben Simmons is officially back, I have the Brooklyn Nets being a locked top 6 seed in the Eastern Conference. What's good, you guys? We're back here with another video, and today we are here to talk about the Nets. Sorry, I've been gone for a week. Some things came up, but I am back. We're here to talk about the Nets. Preseason has started, and they were a team that I paid attention to closely. And you know why? Because Ben Simmons is my guy. They actually play today, so I'm trying to get this video wrapped up because they play in like an hour or so, and I still got to edit it. But we're going to talk about the Nets. But before we talk about the Nets, make sure you like and subscribe, share with your friends. We're so close to 500 subscribers. I want to get there so bad. That's a big accomplishment for me. So help me get there. But other than that, let's get straight into this video. So what I've seen from the Brooklyn Nets from their first playing game was very, very promising. Listen, you know all the narratives and all the talk is going to be about Ben Simmons, as it should be. Last year for him was terrible, man. He just came off 2 years before being an all-pro guy, an all-defensive guy. Then last year, first year off an injury, it was terrible. But then I did some research and I noticed, like, bro, he looks slow out there. He doesn't have no confidence. So I do some more research, and it showed like back surgeries, which he got in, I believe, the 2021 offseason. They take about a year and a half to heal up. And I could kind of tell by watching him last year. He was pretty bad at times. He just didn't have the confidence. He was very slow. But like last year, yesterday, a couple days ago when they played, he was very promising. Watching him, I want to say Ben Simmons is officially back. My boy was getting to the hoop looking for contact. That is something he never did last year. He was looking for contact. Every time he took the ball down the court, he got in the post and looked to play me. Never did that last year. Was way more aggressive on defense. He shot a freaking mid-range shot. Ben Simmons is back, bro. He's back. But he wasn't the only thing that I loved when I watched that team on I believe it was Monday. Cam Thomas. Seeing that they're actually using him this year, and then seeing the reports from Jock Vaughn and seeing that like he's starting to like Cam Thomas more and more and more, liking the idea of Cam Thomas, that is very promising for this Brooklyn Nets team. For years, when it seemed like the 76ers couldn't get over the hump, you had some fans like me that thought that the 76ers should have traded Joel Embiid and just built around Ben. And at that time, I really believed that, because I felt like at that time, in the NBA, it was easier to build around a player like Ben. And around that time, they were on like the same level. They were both top 15 guys. Ben Simmons at his peak was that freaking good. If you don't remember, go back and watch. He was that good. Now, my whole thing was build with Ben. And looking at this team right now, if he is back to what he was, I wouldn't even say the all-pro levels, but is he back to where he was when he was just a high-level all-star? This is the perfect team around Ben Simmons. Look at this team. At the 2, they have Cam Thomas. But if you want to go big, they will have Mikal Bridges, and they'll start Cam Johnson at the 3. But I believe they're going to start Cam Thomas, and what does he do? He scores the hell out of the ball, and he can also play on ball. He's also a very, very good shooter. They run some two-man options, at least they did on the first preseason game. They ran some two-man with him and Cam Thomas, Ben Simmons and Cam Thomas, and it looked very good. They played off each other very well. So you have a guy like Cam Thomas who's next to him, who's a very good scorer, a very good shooter. That's the perfect fit. And you got Mikal Bridges. Some people believe that stuff that he did for the second half of the year last year can carry over to this year. I don't believe that. I don't think he's a 27-point per game scorer. I think that it's very crazy for people to believe. But I do think he's going to be a 20-point per game scorer. He's still a very good shooter, one of the best off-ball guys we have in this league. And he fits perfectly around Ben. Now, the other thing on the other side is he's also a defensive menace. Now, having him next to Ben, who's also a defensive menace, that is just going to core up so well. They're going to be perfect. Now, Cam Johnson, I'm not going to lie, I'm higher on him than I am on Mikal. I don't think he's better than Mikal. I don't think he will be better than Mikal, but I like his game a lot. And he shows me a lot of times that, like, he can improve a lot on ball. He is improving a lot on ball. But if he doesn't, the player that Cam Johnson is right now, the spot-up shooter, one of the best spot-up shooters we have in this league, one of the best 3D wings we have in this league, the player that he is right now, that fits perfectly next to Ben. And then you have at the 5, Nick Claxton. Now, off the top of that mind, it might not seem like a perfect fit because they both can't shoot at all, but like their pick and roll was very effective. The times that they did run it, and they didn't run it a lot, but the time that they did run it, their pick and roll was very effective. And on defense, they kind of play off each other very well. Like Ben Simmons, at times he showed it on Sunday, and at times I believe he will show it later on in the season. He will guard the bigger guys because I would say he's the better post defender because he is stronger, and he will allow Nick Claxton to roam around, and that will only make Nick Claxton much better. He won't be playing the 5, but on defense, that will be his role to roam, and that's going to make his defense crazy. This is the perfect starting lineup for Ben Simmons. Obviously, you have other options, but for what they have, this is the perfect starting lineup. And then you got guys off the bench. Let's get off the whole Bill with Ben Simmons thing. Got guys like Dennis Smith Jr., who last year proved he's one of the best guard defenders in the league. And I think he's going to be able to run this offense coming off the bench. But if he's not, you have Spencer Dinwiddie, who's a vet. But I do think he's going to help out with the scoring part. But you have Spencer Dinwiddie, who can fit with this team. He showed last year coming to the Nets. He was a very good playmaker. Like last year, I believe since he got to the Nets, he averaged 9 assists, which is crazy because I never seen that from him. But he showed that he's a pretty good playmaker. You got a guy like Royce O'Neal, who's always going to be a consistent 3-and-D guy. Same thing with Dorian Finney-Smith, who are also two guys that fit perfectly with Ben Simmons. And I think they did something in the offseason that I love. Bro, they brung Harry Giles back into the NBA. And he's belonged in the NBA for the last 3 years. He just never got a chance. But he also fits perfectly well, not only with Ben Simmons, but with the team. Because he's kind of like one of those hybrid bigs, like a Sengun or like a Sabonis. He's not nowhere near on their level, but he can be a capable passer, a pretty good passer. He has a handle. He's pretty fast for his size. He can score in the post. He fits perfectly with the team. Then you got other guys that are going to be like the 10th, 11th guy on the bench, and Darius Bazley, who's always going to be a consistent wing. Lonnie Walker, same thing with him. I don't think he should have went to this team because his team is pretty crowded, but he fits perfectly with this team, being a 3-and-D guy himself. Then you go later on to the bench, you got guys like Dariq Whitehead, who probably won't get a lot of minutes because he is a rookie, but I do think he is a veteran type guy. Like, if players do get hurt, he can fill in that role pretty easily. And a guy like Noah Kalani, he will spend a lot of time in the G League, but I do think down the line he will be pretty good for the team. But when you look at this team, bro, a starting lineup to me of Ben, Cam Thomas, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Nicholas Claxton. That is a perfect starting lineup. You're probably like, bro, Cam Thomas is at the 4. No, Ben is not the 4. Like, he won't be the 4 on the depth chart. He won't be the 4 on offense. But he is the 4 on defense. They won't be small at all. And they will be able to hide Cam Thomas. And I think that's a pretty good thing for them. And I think they should really invest in the Cam Thomas. Because, listen, bro, since high school, the dude's been known as a scorer. And listen, he's not, to me, he's not one of those guys that just score and like it's not effective. No, his scoring is very effective. He's been scoring since high school. He went to Oak Hill and is the leading scorer of Oak Hill. You know how many legends came from Oak Hill? And then he went to LSU automatically, leading scorer in the nation. Like, he's a legit scorer. They have to invest. I felt like last year, I just skipped a hell of sentences, but I felt like last year in the playoffs at times, this is going to sound like very like millennial, they needed a bucket. They needed a guy that can get a bucket. Mikal was not that. And they never put in Cam Thomas. Now I feel like they should start him because at times they're going to need a guy that can get a bucket, because I still don't think Mikal is that. So having Cam Thomas at that too is going to be perfect. Mikal Bridges is still going to be steady, still going to play every game in the world, still going to be a very good shooter, a very good defender, and I do think he does get better when it comes to his shot creation. But that 27 a game, don't believe it. And Cameron Johnson, like I said, even if he doesn't make the improvements I do think he's going to make, still he's going to be a steady shooter, steady defender. I do think he's an underrated passer, underrated cutter, who fits perfectly with their point guard, which is Ben Simmons and Nick Claxton. This team opens up the court for him, so he can do a lot more in the post. So I'm very excited for that starting lineup. And like I said, with the bench unit, you got guys like Spencer Dinwiddie, Dennis Smith Jr., Royce O'Neal, Dorian Finney-Smith, Harry Giles. If you don't trust in Harry Giles or Davon Sharp, I think they can go out there and easily get like a backup big easily. But still, they got all the wings in the world. Lonnie Walker, Darius Bazley, Dariq Whitehead, Noah Kalani. Like, they're very big. They're trying to copy what the Raptors did, but like actually have guys that can shoot. And I think it's going to work out very well. Now, let's talk about them as a playoff seed. Listen, if Ben Simmons is back to, like, let's say rookie Ben Simmons, where he was like really good, but like he wasn't on the like high level all-star shit, then I think this team is a locked play-in team. if he's like back to like just the rookie Ben Simmons, like the guy that was like 14, I believe, 14, 8, and 7. If he's back to that, playing team. But if he is back to that all-pro, all-star motherfucker where he is not only a lead as a playmaker, as a rebounder, as a distributor, but he's also a lead on defense, one of the best, if not the best on defense, if he is back to that, this is a top 6 lock. This team can be better than teams like the Heat. Because if they play like they did last year, they're going to be down low. They can be better than teams like the Knicks because they still have RJ Barrett and Julius Randle on their team. I'm sorry. They can be better than the Hawks. I think the Hawks are very questionable because we don't know. They look good with Quinn Snyder, but are they going to be able to carry that on to this year? I don't know. They can definitely be better than the Pacers. I think if Ben Simmons is back, the rookie Ben Simmons, they will be better than the Pacers. I don't think it takes that. I'm sorry. I'm not high on the Pacers at all. They can be better than the Pistons. This team can be very good. This team can also be very scary for those teams at the top. For the Cavs, they'll be scary as shit because they're super huge. All the way around, they're super huge. And they're very versatile. They spread the floor out well. This is all riding on Ben Simmons. This is why Spencer Dinwiddie said in his interview, I think it was his opening interview, he said, we go as far as Ben Simmons goes, as far as he takes us. Because again, I'm reiterating, if he is back to that all-pro Ben Simmons, this team is scary because they're just so versatile. They can do so much things. And then also you can unlock Cam Thomas while doing this. They will be fucking scary, bro. It will be scary. So let me know what you think about the team, man. Like I said, I'm a very big fan of the team. Gonna be watching the team a lot. Other than that, man, more consistent videos. I got another video planned out, so I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.